Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition, the TGI Friday edition of the Fun Astrology video podcast. Thomas Miller here. Thanks for stopping by. I wanted to show you the chart that I used when I looked at this little apartment in Western North Carolina, in this little mountain town that I'm so excited about. After I had looked at the place, I cast a chart, and I wanted to show you what it said. So this is a good reason as you learn these techniques to keep something on your phone with you so that in the moment you can cast the chart and see what it says. So if you're asking the chart a question called Horary, this is the Horary style of astrology. When do you cast the chart? Well, two qualifiers. Number one, when you fully understand the question, and I often will write the question down just so there's no going back on anything. This was the clear question that I put out into the universe for feedback, for my of importance, right? It's like this question is so important that I'm taking it out to the universe to get this answer. The second piece of it, once you have the question clarified and crystal clear, then you determine which house rules that question. And this is where it can get dicey because sometimes it's not about the surface of the question. There might be more subtle meanings to what the question really is. So absolute clarity of the question is always best. And if you can narrow it down to a narrower topic and get it to a yes or no answer, that is always even better. Or how might this work out? Or how might this appear if I do this or that? I'm getting more into the weeds than I want to, but the main point here is that you have to really clarify that question and then know the house, and then you cast the chart. So that's what happened here. Really pretty easy. Should I rent this? It was a yes or no. And then also the fourth house, because it's about home, right? So it's clearly, this one is so easy. So here was the chart that was cast, is this new home chart. This was on Monday, the 18th. Whoops, I got a fat marker going here today. Let me see if I can get that thing toned down a little bit. I don't know. Uh-oh. Well, I'm not going to buy now. Hold on here. Let me just see if I can shrink that down. No, we're going to be doing a fat marker today, so I'll keep it a little bit lighter on the markings. So this was Monday. And note that the sun had not moved into Taurus yet. It was at 28 degrees Aries, okay? So the first thing about this is we look at, remember I said the fourth house, so we look at the cusp of the fourth house. Now I'm in the equal house system here, and I use this because this is what I've been studying under Robert, and it is highly effective. A lot of people use Rigomontanus for Horary. Robert uses equal. He was taught that by Linda Goodman. I've seen it work, and it works really, really well. So I'm just comfortable with sticking with what my teacher and astrology mentor here is showing me of how to do this. So then we go to the opposite of the fourth. So the fourth is the question in hand. This is about a new home. And the 10th is going to be the basically complementary planet that we're going to look at to see if we have a yes or a no answer. Now, we look for the Ptolemaic aspects next. So we're going to find these ruling planets. First, let's go ahead and do that. So Venus rules Libra down here in 4. There's Venus right there. Mars rules Aries. There's Mars. All right, now what do we have? Well, we've got 12 degrees between these two. So what do we have with that? Is that a conjunction? Well, not by typical conventional means. It's not. You'd want to stay within about 10 degrees, or really 8 for those two planets at the most. The other, obviously, the sextile, and then we have squares, and then we have trines, and then we have oppositions. Really butcher that because I don't have much to work with here. Sorry. Okay. So those are the Ptolemaic aspects. Those are the ones that we're going to see. Do these two ruling planets of 4 and 10 make a Ptolemaic aspect? And we would think, well, no, because they're not in a conjunction. But the ancient astrologers and William Lilly, from which this system is derived, say that you can move within the entire sign to form a conjunction in horary astrology. So we really don't use orbs. You use the signs. You use sign-based aspects. Now, if something is on a cusp, yes, you can definitely use the orbs, but I'm not going to go down there again because that's getting more into the weeds. I just wanted to show you what I saw from this. So I saw immediately that the two planets that are answering this question were in the sign of Pisces. That was good enough to be a conjunction according to this style of horary astrology. So I had my answer. Yes, this would be a good place. All right. So with that news kind of answered, then you can read the chart. So let's see what else this chart shows. And the first place my eyes fell was the 7th house. And I saw that Saturn was in the 7th house. And I thought, uh-oh, I shouldn't even be reading this. But then I thought, wait a minute, because that's one of there are about 5 or 6 or 7, depending on how you count it, or even more, considerations before you look at this chart. They're called considerations before judgment. Can I read this? Or am I not able to? Well, the chart is otherwise readable, but Saturn in the 7th house is one of the don't do it, because Saturn kind of messes stuff up in horary astrology. But there are a couple of exceptions. And one of the exceptions is if you have Saturn in the 7th house, then you can read it. And I do in my natal chart. Another one is Saturn in a particular significant degree or position in this chart and compared to the natal chart? It is. Look here. It's in a bending to the nodes of the moon. See that? 22, 23, 22, and with the moon right there next to the nodes. And I'm going to keep this cleaner so that we're not messing this whole thing up. Saturn is in the same position here as it is in my natal chart at the bending of the nodes of the moon. That's significant. The other qualifier or exemption is if you really are able to unemotionally, with no ego attached, look at the interpretation. And I wasn't even thinking about that. I was like, I didn't even consider that. So that was off the table. Wasn't bothering me a bit. I could have this place or not have this place. It really didn't matter. I just wanted to know, was it the best place? So beyond that now, what I saw was the Blues Brothers of basically my whole chart's purpose is about transformation. So the Blues Brothers of transformation are in the 7th house. I am going to have a relationship with transformation, probably some personally and some in what we do here. So there will be things that will come up that will help you in your transformation process as a result of this place. That was one. Here was another. Obviously, the moon in Scorpio in the 4th house. That was a big deal because I'm going to love this place. And look, it was in a trine to, and we can really circle all of these because we can bring them all in this conjunction. We can put the whole basket in here of that I am going to love, or at least be passionate, emotionally invested in this place, and favorably, the trine. Then I saw the sun in Aries. Oh, this was cool because that means shining out. That's the 10th house. That's the career. That's the how you show up to the world is going to be powerful in this place. So that's how the chart worked. That was what it showed. And when I saw all of that, I felt good about proceeding. What it didn't say and what I didn't ask was, am I going to get the house? But I didn't feel that that was a valid enough question to take back to the chart at any given time. I just thought, let it be what it is. And that's when I started to work on my inner stuff. And stuff came up, and that is the subject of Subconscious Mind Mastery podcast number 286. So I would do a handoff to that of how you could see how I processed the internal spiritual side of this equation. But I wanted you to see how the chart played into it as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back on Monday.